I could not.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Ridiculous chant.
We tried to reenact the opening to the anime of Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
And no, you did not hear some kind of weird, feminist choir. You know, the ones that go like the...
Election results meltdown compilation type of stuff, you mean? Yeah, no, I got you.
Well, that kind of crap was going on before the election even happened.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. So, hi, welcome to End Credit Reviews on episode Unscripted. This is Tyler from End Credit Reviews.
And Steven from Steven Lawson Studios.
And today we have our review on Ghost in the Shell, the 2017 live-action American remake. And the movie was directed by Rupert Sanders. You probably know him best for being the director of Snow White and the Huntsman, not Snow White and the Hut.
The Hut.
Yeah, Pizza the Hut.
Yeah. Puny little Snow White. Oh.
Yeah, it would have been a much better movie, I bet. Yeah. I remember some of the controversies from that movie was like, well, besides having like non-little people play, the dwarfs in that movie, but also the whole, adultery between the director and Kristen Stewart.
I see, yes. That would be a complication.
Yeah, I bet people forgot about that until we brought it up.
What? Kristen Stewart, though? Really? I mean, that's kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel. Like, yes, I'm looking for someone who looks like plain bread, please.
And looks kind of okay-ish with that eyeliner on.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't want to be too judgmental, even though I am. But, like, I don't know. I just feel like if you're in a directorial position, you could get, like, anybody, like, that you wanted, kind of, well, to an extent. Not literally anyone, but,
yeah.
You could get some fine quality female one-on-one time, so.
Well, I'll get back to that, but also it's that not only was it bad that, she cheated on her boyfriend at the time, but it was worse for him because he was married with kids.
That is unfortunate, yeah.
Yeah, but, hey, his co-star, Scarlett Johansson's going through a divorce, and he's single, so why not them two? I mean, she's closer to his age than Kristen Stewart was.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, much bigger upgrade.
Are we building that Scarlett Johansson segue right now? Is that what we're doing?
We'll get to that. Okay. So, the 2017 Ghost in the Shell movie is based off the anime of Ghost in the Shell of the same name from the 90s, and we watched that recently for the first time.
We did.
And that was a decent movie, I would have to say.
Yeah, overall, I would say so. It gets so much praise, and I saw it, and I was definitely let down in several regards about it.
Yeah.
It was still pretty solid, but my biggest complaint about it, that I'm sure we'll talk about, this being a little different, I think, in the live-action one, but I am creating exposition to exposition for expositional purposes, and this is not at all forced. That was so much of the Ghost in the Shell movie, and I'm just like, you talk about forced. This is like some of the most forced, like, philosophical, stuff in a movie I've ever seen. And that was a real, just cringe-worthy thing, in my opinion. And I know that, anime and cultural differences between the United States and Japan could have had something to do with that. But, I mean, I don't know. To me, that was not okay, and it kind of ended suddenly. But, yeah, so.
Yeah, no. And also the whole annoying, like,
Yes, and people profess that to be, like, an amazing soundtrack. I guess if you're deaf, sure. Like, that would be an amazing soundtrack to accompany.
And the anime was kind of too short, I figured,
definitely.
but it had a lot of good ideas, stuff I really did like about it, good animation. I would have to say, and it kind of was an inspiration for The Matrix.
Oh, absolutely. And,
Which, yeah, is definitely a better movie.
and to be clear, yeah, we're talking about the movie, not the show. I personally,
We haven't seen it.
Yeah, I personally haven't seen through the anime, so I realize there's more. But out of, the movie we were presented with from 97, I think it was?
95.
95. And, the modern one made in the United States, those are the only ones that we have seen. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Ghost in the Shell, the 2017 version, takes place in the future where I guess mankind is trying to be connected with cybernetics and other kind of robotics and that. And our main character, who is kind of like a hybrid, called a ghost, who pretty much is a cybernetic organism that has a human brain and conscience, or consciousness, whatever you want to call it.
Consciousness.
Her name is Major, played by Scarlett Johansson, and she works for this team called Section 9 that's kind of like law enforcement. And they're trying to find this villainous character named Kuz, played by Michael Pitt. And we further investigate like different stuff about Major's past and other things that happen in this world. Now, again, like the movie Snow White and the Huntsman, this movie also had some controversy with the casting of Scarlett Johansson in the movie. People are criticizing that, oh, it's whitewashing.
Yeah, and I don't know when you were anticipating on, talking about that, Tyler, but I honestly, part of me could understand it in the beginning, but after seeing this, I just go, okay, well, they actually, in the film, addressed it, so you can stop your bitching. Like... They subtly addressed it, and it was kind of, cool. Of course people are going to complain about it still because, butthurt station. The people who are butthurt about that are going to stay butthurt. But they really did kind of address it. I don't know if we want to exactly spoil how they did, but I guess I'll just say that there was a more, while... in the anime, there was kind of this vague, connection to the past of Major's ghost, or whatever her name was in the original Ghost in the Shell anime. This one had a much more, present, real human connection, and it was kind of more of a plot point instead of a, just purely evolution focused.
Yeah, that's true.
Aspect, and in some ways I think that worked better, at least for me relating to it. But then there were some things towards the end that we may talk about that were like,
Yeah, I mean, Scarlett Johansson in the movie I felt like was solid as Major. I mean, if you compare her to Major in the anime, it kind of looks similar. I mean, Major didn't look that Asian and that sort of thing. I mean, they definitely have other Asian actors playing characters who are obviously Asian in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some actors I thought that maybe they were kind of different ethnicity. Like, I think some characters were like white or Asian were like a different ethnicity, and no one complained about that. Just like how in Doctor Strange everyone complained about, oh yeah, but the Ancient One's a white woman, even though he's an Asian man. But, Baron Mordo in the comics was white, and he's played by a black actor, and no one ever brought that up.
Right. Because that would be a conflicting, agenda there.
Yeah, it's called hypocrisy.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. We'll get back to Scarlet in a bit when it comes to the effects and that, but I think some of the cast I wanted to mention was Takeshi Kintoto as Amakata, or
Aramaki?
Beat Tashiki Koto. I think in the
Takeshi Kitano.
Yeah, in the credits it was called Beat in parentheses. Like, what is with that? Aren't you too old to be having some kind of gimmicky name like that?
Yeah, quit rocking, okay? Enough of them beats.
Yeah.
So.
I remember watching the movie where I was told you, Steven, like, I can kind of see him as Yugi Moto's grandfather.
I did see that. That was pretty great. And
Yugi!
One thing that was funny about him was like every freaking one else was speaking English, and he's just like, I'm gonna speak Japanese. Screw you guys. Like, and you know, from a lot of the interactions, it seems like that a lot of the characters, especially the ones who are implied to be, you know, not so much robotic, you know, he would have a full conversation back and forth with this person. And honestly, from the way they were both talking, it was like, I could seriously see that neither of them are understanding each other whatsoever.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
yeah. But also we had Pulu Esbik as Beto or Bato,
Bateau, I think.
Bateau, okay, sorry. And he was a good casting choice, I would say, as the friend of Major.
Mm-hmm.
And also in the movie, I think in some trailers you kind of see that he doesn't have like the eyepieces in, but they did a good way of explaining how that happened.
I appreciated that, yeah.
I felt like his eyes looked good. I mean, they kind of reminded me of the villain from Men in Black 3, you know, the villain Boris, with those big kind of things. But it's a lot more subtle in this one, which I like.
True. And they served a purpose. Like, they even talked about, you know, oh, these are more tactical anyways, so that was cool.
In the anime, it was like there was not much of an explanation behind it.
They were just there.
Yeah. The doctor that helps Major out, her name is Dr. Coolet, played by Juliet...
Or Owlet.
Owlet. Oh, sorry. It looks like a
Owlet.
Q from a distance, but it's an O. Okay. Sorry about that. Played by Juliette Binoche. She's French. I thought that sounds like an Italian name.
Binoche, yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, she looks familiar, and it kept bugging me. Then I looked at IMDb, and like, she was in Godzilla.
She survived, guys. She survived.
Too bad Bryan Cranston didn't, but
yeah.
Kind of a spoiler, but that movie's been out for a while, so.
Yeah, it's a little late on that one. What it isn't too late on is that he took it so bad that he had to end up fighting a cosmic war as the Red Power Ranger. But yeah, so
had to go to a life of crime selling meth.
Yeah. It's all part of the same universe, folks. Just look through the triangle.
Yeah, no. And also the guy who plays the main antagonist of the movie, his name is Coots, played by Michael Pitt. And I recognize him from the show Boardwalk Empire as the character Jimmy.
Oh, he was Cutter, wasn't he?
No, that was a different guy.
Was it?
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to see who it is, but I guess he's not top billed, which is kind of weird, even though he's one of the main characters.
Coos, gotcha. Yeah.
You know, the guy who's like all robotic and decayed looking? That looked really cool.
Who talked like this, very spaced, as if he was struggling to put words together.
And there's a part where he's glitching and doing this weird thing. It's kind of like that Gold song, you know, the Uzi Bo, that the Bo, yeah, I don't know the exact words, but you know, it sounds like, you know,
Tyler's having a seizure, folks. We have to get him to the hospital.
It's like a YouTube. It sounds like a YouTube poop of a song. You know that Gold song, like Rufus Soy. I don't know. Maybe I'll put the clip in it so you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on.
Sorry, they've been playing that. They've been playing that crap on the radio all the time, so I thought you would know.
Gotcha.
Anyway, the special effects in this movie, I would say, was really good. I would have to say, kind of like how Snow White and the Huntsman had really good special effects. This one also has some top-notch effects, like everything from the environments to the characters in their kind of robotic form, and also the way that people were having like a hologram kind of talking, and then how they would dissolve when they ended the call. I'm like, this is some really awesome special effects.
Yeah, I overall agree. I think that, you know, some of the cinematography may have kind of been filler in certain points, but at the same time, like the actual emphasis on human robotic synthesis that was so present in this, that they nailed, and that was the important thing. So to me, that was really cool. And they also, I really appreciated, you know, in comparing the anime movie to this one, they combined a few characters from the anime, like for example the person who was I think that the person in the trash, the guy who was kind of delusional in the trash, garbage disposal.
Recycle bin.
Yeah.
When you say some delusional guy in the garbage, I'm thinking to myself, I don't remember Oscar the Grouch being in this movie.
Yeah, good point. But they kind of made his equivalent serve a little bit more of a purpose and not kind of just be a segment towards, oh, that's sad about, fake memories and stuff. And to be fair, some of that thematic stuff, it was present, but it wasn't just like, well, that's a random character. So yeah.
Back to the special effects, I really did like Major's bodysuit. I think the people at Weta made that bodysuit for Scarlett Johansson. And what was interesting was that, the suit did look like, kind of blended in with her skin color. And a minor controversy was like, hey, where are the nipples at?
Yeah, Stephen was a little disappointed about that. I'm not going to lie.
You referred to yourself in the third person?
Yes, he's a little ashamed of it, but yes.
Sorry, folks, them nipples are DLC.
Yeah. Good point. See it in the R cut, where she's grinding for an hour and a half. Special features. Yeah, those are some special features, I tell you.
Yeah, they're talking about like hacking and that sort of thing. Man, I kind of wish we could hack Scarlett Johansson. Yeah, change them corrupt political views, and that's some bad malware in there.
Put the hard drive within the motherboard.
Yeah, I'd really like to put my ghost in her shell.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yep, been saving that joke for a little bit.
NSA is taking note of this.
Well, it's been taken down, and also she's probably comfortable in nudity. It's not the first time we haven't seen her naked.
Doesn't she have like a? I think you were the one telling me that she kind of has a, relationship stance of kind of just whatever, polygamous type of thing.
Well, like she doesn't believe that you can have just one relationship at a time when it comes to being with one person.
I got you.
Which is like, really? You have a kid too. Come on.
Right.
But anyway, besides that, we digress, folks.
You gotta love our tangents.
Yeah, I was entertained by this movie. It was paced well. I think the problem I have with the movie is that it started off really good, like the first and second half, and then I think by the third act it started to slow down, and the climax could have been a little bit better. So, what would you give this movie, Steven?
Well, let me just say real quick, I do agree overall with that. There were things like, especially as a member of the Western audience, seeing the anime compared to this, that I thought, honestly, this one felt more human and overall structurally better than the anime did. That's probably going to trigger a lot of people, but there were some things, especially about the ending of the anime, that this one kind of copped out on. I'm not going to spoil exactly what for the people who want to see, because it did end a little differently. And I kind of just went, that's dumb. And, what's his name? Kuze, he kind of was the elusive, what did they call it in the anime, like...
I'm trying to remember his name, but he was the antagonist. Yeah,
the antagonist, like, program that was taking over a bunch of, shells, basically. And he was obviously important, but there was something towards the end where it's basically like, well, I'm around if you need me. And it's like, that's dumb. That was really bad.
I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I guess, but to me it was just like, either there's a sequel in mind, or that was just, let's make it different and kind of cliched ending. And to me it was like, that wasn't very good. But overall, so many similar parts happened, thematically. So many points from the anime to, this modern film and the story. And there was more content, which I really appreciated. So overall, I really liked this. And I would give this personally about an 84. 84% seems fine.
Okay, a little higher than I thought you were going to say.
Gotcha.
Personally, I feel like this movie had, in some aspects, was kind of better than the anime, but at the same time, not so much.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of go back and forth on Ghost in the Shell, and I'll probably go back, the anime one, and I'll probably do the same exact thing for this one. Is it better than Snow White and the Huntsman? Definitely. This one was really entertaining. I was entertained. I wasn't bored like Snow White and the Huntsman. The characters and the acting was better and more convincing. And overall, the effects are really great eye candy, I would have to say. I'd be a little surprised if this is not nominated at the Academy Awards next year for Best Special Effects. And also, I would say that, again, the movie is fine enough. I would say don't worry about this whole so-called whitewashing controversy, because they do, in a way, explain it in the movie. And again,
it's subtle, but yes.
Yeah, the casting I felt like was fine enough. I felt like the bodysuit on Major was really excellent, and there was some good action. And also, remember the geisha characters? We forgot to mention them. I mean, yeah, they were a little creepy in that.
Oh yeah, those things were creepy. Good God, yeah, they were.
Yeah, I felt like they were a little underused in that.
Yeah, because they were so important and emphasized in the trailers too. Kind of took the front stage on that.
Yeah, definitely. So overall, I think Ghost in the Shell is a fine enough movie. I actually enjoyed it a little bit more than Kong Skull Island because I cared a little bit more about those characters.
I agree.
A little bit more. They're more fleshed out. So for now, I'm going to give Ghost in the Shell about between 2.5 stars out of 4 to 3 stars out of 4.
Sure, I think that's fair.
So before we wrap it up, we should briefly mention that a couple of funny things at the end. We'll try to keep it as spoiler-free as possible, but there's this one character that makes a really good one-liner by saying that, "Do not send rabbits to kill a fox."
Yes, that was a great line. And I'm guessing, based on, just how that sounded, you can't guess, if you know the anime or the cast, who that would be / which of the people we talked about based on, culture.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, and then also there's a part where a certain character in the movie turns invisible and puts her hand over their face, and we're thinking, man, did the whole John Cena, "you do not see me."
You can't see me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they waited on it, though, which I personally appreciated. So.
Yeah. All right, so this is Tyler from EndCreditReviews.
And Steven from Steven Lawson Studios.
Yep, and we hope you enjoyed this episode of Unscripted on EndCreditReviews. We hope to make more in the future. And anyway, thank you a lot for, making comments on my videos and that. Comments like this one I highly appreciate, and I hope to make more videos in the future. Please like and subscribe.
That was a terrible decision.
Well, can't blame him because, she was kind of hot in that Hocus Pocus movie.
I guess, and maybe a stock in livestock or something, but...
Right. We're just going to randomly put this at the end of our review.
I guess so. We're talking about Matthew Broderick.
And Sarah Horseface Jessica Parker.
Yes. Horse awareness, folks.